What is up, disc golfers? Today on Iceberg TV, we will be reviewing the new Discmania MD3 in the nice red Ferrari plastic. I have a lot of really great feedback on this disc, but before we start the video, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Chain Gang Discs. Without them, I wouldn't have been able to get this disc on time so promptly and be able to get such a fast review out to you guys. The link to their website is in the description below, so if you want the best prices, fast shipping, and individual pictures of each disc on the site, Chain Gang Discs is the site for you. Also go follow them on Instagram. Now let's get started with the video. The new C-Line MD3 from Discmania. This disc is absolutely beautiful. It flies just like the flight numbers. I'm going to sort of go over each and every aspect of the disc one at a time, just like I usually do on this channel. The first thing I want to cover is the look and the feel. Now, I love the color of this red C-Line. It's got that nice Ferrari red sort of feel to it. I don't have any other discs that are this deep a red. They're really easy to see out in the field. This red looks so good, and the plastic feels really great in the hand. It's a nice grippy C-Line. It's not too stiff, but it's also not too floppy. It's right in that sweet spot. It's got a nice luxury feel to it, similar to how you would see like a nice Latitude 64 disc. So it's got that nice luxury European plastic feel and has a beautiful line of colors within the range as well. Now, the flight numbers are 5501, and at first when I was throwing it, I was like, man, this thing's really overstable. I can't turn it over just like my other MD3s. And I was sort of on the fence of thinking maybe it's like a 5503 or a 5502 at the slightest. But upon throwing it more and getting more reps under my belt with it, I used this thing for a few rounds, so I've had this for a while now. I really love the way that it flies. That zero turn is so accurate. This disc is very hard to turn over. You can throw it nice and hard and flat, right even into a stiff headwind. Most of the shots with this disc have been in a stiff headwind, and it just goes straight, and then it starts to just slowly finish to the left. So if you want your consistent workhorse mid-range, the new C-Line MD3 is going to be that disc for you. Now the really unique thing about this disc is I'm currently throwing about 400, 450 with my drivers on a good throw, backhand. And my friend Colby, who throws 500 plus, we were throwing this disc with two different arm speeds and getting the exact same flight or a very similar flight out of it. So he was getting it to push a little bit straighter, but I was getting it to push straight and then pretty much carry left the whole way. And we were getting a very similar distance out of the disc, even though we were throwing with different arm speed. This disc is so consistent with the flight. It flies literally exactly how it's supposed to, exactly how it's advertised, and they couldn't have gotten the flight numbers more right. It is such a true 5501 because it will not turn, and it has just a nice slight fade at the end. It doesn't dump, but it just has that nice penetrating sort of sweeping fade, which is really hard to find in a mid-range that actually glides farther than 300 feet. You typically have something that's a little bit harder to control, maybe like a Mako, or something that's a little bit too overstable like my DGA Quake. This is going to bridge the gap between that stable and that glidey mid. This is going to give you that reliable, stable, controllable mid-range that you don't have to worry about turning over. So as far as the feel and the flight, I'm more than impressed, and this is probably going to replace my current MD3 in my bag. I'm loving how this is flying. It's not too domey, and it's not too wide of a rim, so you can see it doesn't have much dome to it, but it's not like board flat like a Quake, but it's just got that nice clean mid-range dome. Feels really comfortable in the hand, and this disc is going to make it in the bag of every single Discmania Pro. And I'm looking forward to seeing the Signature Series editions coming up. I'm hoping we see some more Iron Samurai, some sort of Claw MD3 variant, a colored glow variant, the Sparkle variant. I'm really looking forward to do the different runs flying different plastic types, sort of how does that affect the flight of the disc. So I'm definitely going to pick up more of these C-Line MD3s. Obviously I want to have a backup if I really like this one. I'll probably try and get another red one, but the other colors look really amazing as well. This red is just so vibrant, and for me, this is the easiest to see out in the field. With all that being said, leave it in the comment section down below. Were you able to get one of these? If you got one, how's it flying for you? Did you have the same results as me? Just a nice, straight, sweeping, sort of right to left penetrating flight? I'd love to hear your comments in the comments section down below. Again, thank you to the sponsor of the video, Chain Gang Discs. Without them, this video would not have been possible. Iceberg Dylan here. You're watching Iceberg TV, and take care.